we have Dr. Dayo Shobamowo, is a third-generation medical doctor, healthcare management consultant, and serial healthcare entrepreneur. He has over 20 years of international healthcare business experience with a focus on adversary investment and technology. And today he'll be here. He's here talking about an interesting topic: how technology can help in preventive healthcare. Dayo, we're happy to have you in the studio.
Yeah, good morning. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Now, the topic is very interesting and it is wide. I would really love us to just focus more on the use of mobile apps. You know, we don't want to talk about AI and how futuristic apps can help, but let's just focus more on mobile apps. So how can mobile apps really help in preventive measures, basically?
Okay, so the thing in mobile apps is they basically take the hospital to your house or to you, per se, right? Traditionally, to seek healthcare, you had to go and see a doctor in a hospital. Now, what mobile apps can do is they can actually communicate between you and the doctor or hospital, right? So I'll give you an example. We have apps now that can track your blood sugar and your blood pressure, right? So what you have is you have a device, you hook it up to your skin, it syncs to your mobile phone, right? And then literally on the hour, you can tell what your blood pressure is, what your blood sugar is. Okay. Traditionally, you would have to go into a hospital or a lab to get pricked or to get measured for your BP. So that's the good thing about apps. They can literally sort of increase access to healthcare.
Okay, but speaking of technology, how do you trust the accuracy of these apps? You know, there's sometimes when you use certain apps, you want to take foot counts, and then you check and you realize that they're not as accurate as the amount of steps you've taken. Yeah. So how do we tell that these apps are accurate before some people have high blood pressure?
So what I would say is, like every other thing, there are all sorts of apps in the market. Okay. So I think it's down to you to do your research and sort of see the apps that have really been validated and tested. A lot of them have endorsements from different sort of like medical associations. So that's what I would say. But like even with the best apps, there are times I have limitations, whether it's connectivity or satellite in the cloud is not sort of working well that day.
Absolutely.
So,
I think that is why they're always updating and upgrading these apps. But speaking of apps, are there certain apps that you would advise people, you know, download or make use of for probably maybe blood level sugar or, you know?
Yeah, there are a lot of good apps there. Like, there's so many, right? I wouldn't want to promote any of them, right? But there are loads of them.
And what are some of the strategies that we can, you know, take when it comes to mobile apps? What are the best tips we can always use when it comes to enhancing these apps to be sure that they give the best results?
Okay, so the thing about it is with apps, first of all, you need to be sure that it's relevant to your condition or even your environment, right? So for example, if we're talking about an app that is sort of like measuring your dietary intake, calculating your calories. So if it's an app that is not optimized for, say, this climate, you won't be able to calculate like pounded yam, egusi, and stuff like that.
So yeah, this way. Yeah, go ahead.
So like I said, you just need to make sure that the app is relevant, you know, for your situation and for your condition.
All right. So what are some key challenges in ensuring seamless integration between systems and the mobile apps?
Okay. The key challenge is in terms of what I'll say, integration and connectivity, right? So some of these apps, like I said, whilst it's tracking parameters in your body, it's syncing with a machine somewhere in a hospital. So let me give you an example. Imagine somebody had surgery, right? And your surgeon wants to monitor you. So even when your app tells you that, oh, maybe your heart rhythm is now abnormal or your blood pressure has spiked, an alert goes to your doctor, right? He's supposed to get it because he might be unconscious at home and nobody knows what's going on. But if he gets it on his own device, then obviously they can send an ambulance or, you know, just try and intervene and get you. So, yes, there will usually be integration, but with proper research, once again, like There's virtually, app that is not integratable with another one.
Okay.
As long as you sort of know what you're doing.
Okay, now speaking of monitoring devices, it would be awesome to have apps that would not just predict, but can also help you inform you of things that are happening in your body earlier enough. So I'm just wondering, are there apps that can really assist and just tell you, oh, be careful, your blood level sugar is getting high, or are there apps that can always just advise you?
Okay. So interesting you say that. Interestingly, I'm a co-founder of a company.
Okay.
It's called Well Knew Me. We have an app called Well Knew Me.
Oh, wow.
Now, what we do is very, very targeted. So we're trying to prevent people from falling ill with some kind of diseases. So it's mostly what you call NCDs. Okay. NCDs mean non-communicable diseases. So you talk about your cancers, hypertension, diabetes, and other lifestyle ailments. So how does Well Knew Me work? Basically, it's a platform. You log into it, secure login. But you have to put in some data. So it's basically a questionnaire, online questionnaire. It's teasing out your lifestyle. What do you drink? What do you eat? How active are you? And then even more importantly, your family history. Because a lot of these ailments I've mentioned are genetic, right? And they also need to put in some biometric information. So you can measure your BP and put it in. Get your blood sugar, your height, your weight, your blood pressure. Now, where the AI comes in, it quickly spawns all this information, and it now tells you that, oh, Oga, right now you don't have hypertension, but if you continue living your life the way you are, in a year or so, you'll be hypertensive. What happens next? So, based on your risk assessment that was developed by the app, it now gives you a tailored intervention. For some people, the high blood pressure is as a result of weight, so you have to lose weight, exercise, diet. Some people is smoking. Some people, you have to reduce your alcohol.
Yeah. Thank you for that insight. You would also agree that mobile apps have pros and cons. And so what are some of the cons, especially for mobile apps?
Okay, some of the cons is sometimes you have data that is inaccurate for different reasons. Sometimes even you putting in the wrong data. So it's like garbage in, garbage out, right? Like I said, your network issues could affect, accuracy. And some of these apps, like I said, are also not built for your specific condition or environment. So those are some of the limitations of these apps.
And I have another interesting question. Now, what are some regulatory measures put in place to make sure that these apps are giving accurate data?
Okay, so because it's health data, every company has what I'll call data protection rules for healthcare. Because you don't want your information just being manipulated or even being sold, right? In America, you have HIPAA. In Nigeria, we have our own local laws, right? So data security is very key with these apps. And then obviously, with apps that you have to sort of liaise with a medical professional, you have to make sure that that person is licensed, right? There are a lot of mental health apps right there now. So how do you even know who you're talking to? Is he a psychiatrist? Is he a counselor that is licensed? So that's where the regulatory space goes in, and then you have to validate credentials. And
then there are approvals.
Yes.
The approvals for the doctors, for the creators of the app, before it goes live.
Definitely.
That is beautiful as well. I really like that is in place. Okay, I have another interesting question now. What is the future? What is the future for mobile apps and technology?
Let me tell you.
Things like this. I want you to blow my mind at this point. What should we expect in another 10 years?
No. The future is wild with mobile apps. So what is already happening, right? What I feel is only going to get more accurate, and sort of broader reach. So let me give you an example. Traditionally, you go and take an X-ray, CT scan, MRI. You have to go to a radiologist to read it. There are apps now that look in 20 seconds. It's just going to scan that result, and very accurate. It can diagnose cancer. It can diagnose so many other things, right? Then obviously there are robots now that can do surgeries, right? But right now, most of those robots, you see, have sort of a physician or a doctor who's sort of working on it. But I'm telling you that in 10 years' time, the robots can do the surgeries on their own. That's how smart equipment are getting with AI, of course.
That is huge. Just imagine you get to the hospital and you are told robot X13 is going to be working on you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality. And then in terms of preventive healthcare, what's going to happen is already happening. Like I said, we'll get more accurate is people can sort of profile their DNA and you can tell what's going to happen to you in the future, right? I mean, you have heard about Angelina Jolie some years ago. She did that genotype testing and realized that she had a very high risk of breast cancer, but she didn't have it yet. So she was proactive enough and then removed both breasts so that she never had breast cancer. So more of that is going to happen. A lot of diagnosis now is going to be at the genetic level, right? And you're going to be able to sort of detect things, even in a baby. Things are going to happen in baby's adulthood.
And how do you think the Nigerians will take that?
Well,
just imagine they tell you, oh, the next 10 years, this would happen to your child, and we have to take this out now.
Well, we've got to know about Nigerians. Nigerians are very superstitious. Superstitious. There's going to be a lot of binding and casting out. Right.
All right. Thank you so much. That is all that we can take at this time. For those of you at home, it is very important that you take good care of yourself. Preventive healthcare is very important. And that is all that we can take. Thank you so much for coming again. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. Let's go.